Good afternoon, everyone. Like lunch at the kitchen, I'm ready to so I'll begin by introducing myself. My name is Lindsay Marie Motri. I stay in Trivandrum. 2014, I became spinal cord injured, and that is how I started using a wheelchair. Okay, Prashant, looking at my life right now, I am well supported by my family and good friends with me who try to include me in a lot of activities. And I am doing a job that I am really happy with. That is, I am proud to talk about my work as a psychologist. And I have completed my education through Indira Gandhi National Open University. I have completed a bachelor's degree in psychology and a master's in counseling. So that is just an overview about me. And I'm just trying to show you that life is quite normal for me as well. Because just because I'm a wheelchair user, it doesn't mean my life is totally ripped off and entirely different. Okay. Let's look at the main headings when I say that. Like when I talk about my family, I'm well supported by my family. I'm given a lot of love and care. And at home they have arranged the settings in a way that I can move around independently as much as possible. Yes, I have some limitations, but at home I feel very enabled. Okay, and I'm just trying to talk to you about the kind of architectural changes and attitudinal changes that make a lot of difference for people with any kind of disability, and it starts from home. So at my home, I'm quite happy, and at my father who has joined me, and he's one of the strongest pillars in my life, and I've got a beautiful family with me who try to include me, make me feel like a part of everything. Okay, like I'll give you small examples. Like when we pray at night together, I cannot sit for long, so I'll be on my bed. So they all come to my room and we sit and pray together. So there are these small things when you feel like you're also included, you're also part of the whole thing. And if that does not happen, it is quite lonely and much isolated for people with such challenges who cannot walk around and do their daily activities like others. And when I look at my friends, like you said, I have a good set of friends who come and visit me once in a while. And right now, a lot of marriages are happening. So one or the other friend will take me to a marriage, and we'll spend a good time over there. And there are friends who also tell me that if at all I feel like going somewhere, if I need any kind of help, I can call them. And that is all a big blessing. Because I've seen people who do not have any of this, okay? Right now, as I work at Bali, India, as a psychologist, I see a lot of people, okay, people with similar conditions, people with spinal cord injuries and other terminal illnesses and everything. And many of them, at least most of them, they come from a financially poor background without any kind of social support. For them, the whole picture is very depressing. Okay, so I'm truly blessed to have all of these things, and that is the reason why I'm here talking to you about it. Okay, not because I'm much better than them or anything like that. Okay, we all have these life experiences, but I've been, let's say, I have this privilege to come here and share it with you. And I've had good education. Like, even being a wheelchair bound, I was able to continue my education through it. Okay, I did my psychology bachelor's and master's, I did it there. And that means a lot to me. Okay, because I was keen on pursuing education. And I was doing this paramedical course in Bangalore when this whole spinal cord injury happened. That was about 10 years back. So even though it was with a lot of pain that I had to let go of that course, I had this another option of doing my education through remote where I could be at home and study. I just had to go to college for this exams, that is compulsory, but other than that there are these small number of classes that we would organize just to orient us to the course. So I could manage with all of that, and I could pay fees by myself online. Okay, initially if it was having to go to the regional center and giving a demand draft, later on they made it online. So I'm just telling you about these small things that make a lot of difference, where I don't have to depend on someone else, but I can do it by myself. So that way I could actually study and continue with courses that I really want to do. Like there are a lot of online courses and everything right now, which is very much accessible for us. And also when it comes to teachers, especially because you're all part of the faculty. Now I've had had some beautiful teachers in my life. Okay, at school, yes, I was just a typical normal person without any kind of evident disability. And at school, teachers were loving and supportive, and today also I have them behind me with their well wishes. And at college, I'll give you a small example. At college, when I had to do the dissertation for my master's, usually the research guides tend to make us do a lot of work. They make it really hard and challenging for us. But this teacher, she reviewed, as I did everything systematically, she would review each of those things online and finally she did, I just need to share the PDF and she will enter the sign. So I didn't have to go there. So I'm again telling you about these minor things. Like, it might look minor for others, very easy to do. Yeah? It's all very easy to do. But there are people who don't do that again. But I'm just putting light on these things, telling you how to make this whole thing possible for me. Because each of these steps, that is very important for me. To be able to finish off something that I started and to be able to do that by myself is very important. And then coming to job. Okay. So right now I work in Bali, India. Now that is a part-time position. I go there only on Saturdays. So that is because a regular job is quite challenging for me to sit for long hours and to go on a daily basis. I need travel arrangements because if I were to support myself for traveling, that would be very costly and I don't make enough money to afford that. So now back in India, being back in India, it is very much inclusive of people like us. I'm not talking about the structural things, physical things, but you go there, you're well aware if I say that I get back pain, but I cannot sit for long. Okay, so in that sense, working there is really helping me. Okay, that is, I am able to reach the space where I am to help others. They go there when I get to meet other people with spinal cord injury. It's not just as psychologist that I talk to them, but also as a person with personal experience. So when a person says that they feel like they're burdening the family, when they're asking for help, or when they feel like killing themselves, I have been there. Okay, so I am very able to understand that. So connecting all these dots, that becomes very important for us to come to the front line to actually contribute to the society. And right now, I am able to do that. Okay, that is, if you look at the major goals in societal terms, okay, to have good education, you study well, you complete your education, to get a job, especially in a field of your interest, okay, and to have family support and friend support. All of these things are like key areas, right, that society looks at. So when you look at it that way, yes, I'm there. Okay, I am able to enjoy, experience and enjoy the joys and sorrows of a normal person, in a typical sense. Yeah? Now, the reason why I'm telling you about this is because people very often get very conscious about how to interact with people with disability. Okay, so there are volunteers and things who call me and tell me it's the first time I'm going to handle or interact with people on a wheelchair, or how should I deal with them? What do you have any tips? Okay, they ask me. So then the first thing I usually tell them is that you just be normal with them. Treat them like normal people. Like when people come to me, there's some at least people who know me earlier. Okay, usually the first questions they ask would be, how's your health? Has it improved? Are you able to feel anything? Has sensation improved? Okay, now because I'm spinal cord injured, I do not have sensation or movement below my chest area. So people would come and ask me, if you touch your legs, will you be able to understand? Okay, is there any difference? Are you able to stand up and walk? Okay, these are the things people are asking. Or they'll say, are you taking any treatment? It's been 10 years now, okay, since my spinal cord injury happened. But still people ask me these things, okay? And it makes me really uncomfortable. Okay, I've learned to just ignore them, just smile at them and say, oh, and I've learned to do that. But I'm telling you that there are more interesting questions you can ask. Like in this current context, maybe you can ask, how did we celebrate Christmas? How is your New Year? Or as simple as what was there for breakfast? What kind of food do you enjoy? They're normal things, Now I would say even even normal people are struggling to have such conversations because we are all, head deep in our phones. Okay, but these are the things that you can just ask, over people, everyone, we all have these kind of experiences. It does not make us kind of different in a sense, like, oh, they are different sort of beings. Okay? And honestly speaking, this is my opinion. I'm not fond of labels like differently abled, specially abled. Okay, I don't particularly find much meaning in them. Okay, one of the previous sessions were organized by ESAF, where it was about value of rebuilt environments. So I don't remember which sir, but he was saying that using such kind of titles, it's not just for the person with disability, but it's also for the society, so that they be more sensitive and they won't be very rude and harsh by calling a person disabled. Yes, I agree. That is good. Okay, but just having such labels won't make any difference. Okay, that is, I think, if there is a workplace and there is a person with some or the other kind of disability. Okay, now in that workplace, if you call this person disabled or differently abled or specially abled, and still there is no ramp for the person to come inside, or if other colleagues are not involved in your conversations, right then, none of these labels make any difference. It does not make any difference. So just changing a title to just sugarcoat it doesn't work. The attitude needs to change accordingly. Now, if any of you were asked to sit on a wheelchair, okay, and move yourself out of the room or go through a narrow space, if it's your first time, you will struggle doing that. You will hit a lot of places. Okay, you may hit yourself, you may feel really frustrated trying to control this thing. Yeah? Now, because I have past 10 years experience, I am better at it. Okay, but I can't do any kind of stunts or anything. But I can manage. Yeah? Now that is a matter of practice. It's not a special ability or anything. Or let me give you another example. Now, I'm into arts. As a child, I had this, let's say, innate skill to draw, paint and everything. So at school, it used to be a hobby for me. When I was in school, at that young age, it was a hobby for me. And later on, after being spinal cord injured, what happened was, after my rehabilitation I was at hospital, I'd come back to my room and I started drawing. Okay? Because I didn't have any other kind of social interactions or college to go to or do other sort of work. So I spent my time drawing. And I've continuously done this, let's say, more than in the other case where I'm going to college and doing other stuff. So I've been able to spend more time in that particular skill. And so it has become really sharp. Okay, right now, even now, I have my two little nephews, my sister's children. They keep coming to me saying, draw me Batman, draw me Iron Man, everything. So I keep drawing them multiple times, so I got good at it. Now, is that a special ability? Then maybe I'm more, let's say, I'm inclined to that because of my interest, but it is practice that makes it different. So, the reason again why I'm saying all of this is, treat people with disabilities like how you treat yourself. Okay? Try to understand how they are trying to go ahead in life, doing different things. Maybe they just need to do it differently, but they also deserve everything. Yeah? Now, because I've been telling you about how to not treat us differently, there are specific areas where there is a difference, or where what you do can make a difference. In order to help you understand that, I want all of you to just imagine. Okay, now this is like a mental activity, okay? So you're all, if you have someone sitting next to you right now, I want you to try to move a particular finger of the other person's hand. Okay? It can work, you try. Okay, you visualize, let's say a person is visualizing, okay, I'm going to move her thumb. Okay, like through mind control, okay, not by moving it using your hands. Just try to do that. Okay, the person sitting next to you, you can just through your mind, okay, through that kind of mental energy, try to move the other person's thumb or any finger that you have in your mind. Tell me if any of you are able to do that. You can just raise your hands if you've done that. Okay? Everyone is looking at each other. Okay? Is it working? Is it working? No, it does not work. The whole point of saying that when I am balanced and I try to move my legs, it's like trying to move someone else's face. That is what it feels like. But then people come and tell me, you try. You should not lose your willpower. You need to try. If you have mind strength in you, you can do this. That is how people tell me. But this is what it feels like. Okay? What did you feel when you're trying to move someone else's hand or legs or any part for that matter? It's totally not in your control, right? It's totally the other person's problem. And when you're paralyzed, because you all know the literal meaning of the word. Okay? And I've been there, I knew the literal meaning of the word before the incident, but after the incident, I really know what it feels like. It does not feel like your body. You cannot feel it. Okay? So there are small things that, if you're more aware of what it feels like, it might help you look at us differently. Okay? Now again, the activity is not over. For the next activity, I'd like to have a volunteer. Don't worry, I'm not going to ask you to do anything dramatic. It's a very simple thing. But any one of you, if you can come forward, we can do this together. Anyway. Thank you, sir. May I know your name?
Krishna.
Thank you for coming up. Okay? The activity is going to be really simple. Okay? I'll ask you to imagine as though your palate is below your chest. Okay? Can you move the chair? Okay, I've asked, you miss it. Okay, I've asked Krishnan to sit on this chair next to me. Now we'll actually. Can you get one more chair? Pen with you, anyone? Okay, now what I am going to do is, I place this pen on a chair next to Krishnan. Okay? But I'll be placing it in such a way that Krishnan can barely reach it. Okay? Or may not be able to reach it. Okay? I hope I've kept this chair at a distance where Krishnan can barely reach it. Okay? Now what I'm going to ask Krishnan to do is, you need to take the pen. Okay? Now you can't move your legs. Okay? So your legs are paralyzed. Even your upper body till your chest leg. Okay? So actually your trunk doesn't support you so much. You have to lean back. Yeah? In order to move your upper body, you have to use the arms. Okay? Your arms are the strongest part right now. Yeah? So now you can use every kind of skill you have. Okay? The only thing you don't have is legs and the upper body, like trunk. Yeah. With your hands you can, but then okay, just try it. Okay? So you will have to get the pen. You can use anything and everything that you have. Yeah? Just give it a shot. Let's see. Don't worry, when you have some kind of disability, your hands seem to go longer, the length seems to increase. So you can move your body forward, okay? Okay, now Krishnan is trying to reach out and get the pen, and he has got hold of it and he is grabbing. Let's try it once more. Okay. Okay, now I'm moving it a bit more farther. Okay. I moved the chair a little bit more farther because last time he achieved the goal. Okay, he took the pen. Let's try once more.
You can pull the chair.
You have to pen. I said you can use everything you have. Okay, you can use smart things. When I can't reach out for things, I move the armrest of my wheelchair and then pull things forward. There are a lot of things that you do here when you're desperate. Yeah? Now, I'm going to move it even more far. Okay? So 2 times I did this and Krishna was able to do, and he's again trying for the 3rd time. Yeah. So right now he's using all his bodily abilities. He's trying to find out the limit. He's even removing his watch, I think. Yeah. He's using all his physical abilities to. Oh, he's trying to move the pen using the watch. Oh, you took my idea. Okay. Maybe you can try your shoes. No worries, okay? Alright. Now there is one thing probably you didn't think of. You can even ask again. Yeah, you're able to speak. Yeah? You're able to speak. That's also an ability that you have. Yeah, so you can always ask for help. Yeah. Just mentioning it. People always struggle to ask for help. Okay, they try their best not to ask for help. So imagine a person with disability who cannot live without taking help. Yeah? You have to ask for help. But then you may remember. Alright, so right now what we saw was when Krishnan was acting like a person with disability and he was trying to get something. Over there the pen is very important. Let's give the pen a symbolic meaning, okay? Now the pen can be, let's say, a way, okay? An instrument to achieve things, greater things, okay? Like let's say the pen over here, with the pen you can write stories and contribute to the society, do a lot of things that are it's like opening a door to your abilities. Okay? So when it was initially, it looked impossible. Like, remember when I put the chair first, I asked if this is your maximum extent. But when I asked to do that, he actually crossed his what he thought was his maximum extent and reached out and got the pen. Yeah? That is what happens. When you have a disability, you can break your own boundaries. Okay? You try everything you can do to get something. You use everything that you have as your body, your mind, everything in order to achieve things. Okay? And one thing he forgot was to ask, or maybe he didn't think of it, that he could ask help from any of you. Okay? But let's see what happens when, if you were to ask help from others every time. Like, if this whole pen, it was there away, and he had no way to reach the pen, but he had to ask someone for help. Each and every time he had to do it. That becomes very exhausting. It irritates both the person who is asking and the person who is giving it also. Yeah? Now, the reason I made this demo, it was for you to understand that when a disability happens in life, it's not just that you are unable to do things by yourself, but it's also something like you need to ask others for help. Okay, things that you should have been able to do by yourself, you need someone else to support you there. And that's a very sad place to be. Okay, because even when you have a lot of supportive people and loving people around you, to have to always ask them it's really hard. So over here in this particular example, in order to make the whole thing easier for Krishna in this case, one thing is we could move the chair closer to Krishna, yeah? Or we can actually give the pen to Krishna and have it put it in a pocket. Okay? Or if let's say Krishna was having a wheelchair, he could move close to the pen by himself. Okay? And of course others are there to help also. So if you are able to look at accessibility like this, okay? Now rather than handing over the pen to Krishna, okay, every time, it is about making it possible for Krishna to get the pen by himself. That is what makes a difference. Okay? I'll give you another example. Now, in a lot of places over here, when I go to public places, there are no ramps. steps, but people are very kind. Okay, I've gone up 27 steps like that. People have lifted me along with the wheelchair and carried me up. Okay, the society is helpful, especially when they see a young beautiful girl on a wheelchair. Okay, if that was an older woman, older man, people may not be so kind, I would say. Yeah. But otherwise, people tend to come running. You need help, I can lift you. Especially when they tell me, I will lift you. Because I can lift you, I can carry you up, but no, I'm not comfortable with that. Okay? So, people are willing over here to lift me up. But rather than that, what I would want to do is to be able to go there by myself. Yeah? So that is where it makes a difference. Now, each of those things that I said before, the things, let's say the positive things, okay, like having family support, the love and care of friends and everything. Let's look at each of those areas, and this time let me show you where there needs to be a difference. Now at home, my family has set up everything so that I can be as independent as possible. Okay, especially, let's take the activity of using a bathroom. Okay, that's a very sad reality, I would say. Dressing and undressing by yourself. Okay, using the wash or taking a bath or emptying your bowels, all of these things are very personal to all of us. Very personal. We tend to do all of these things in closed rooms usually. Yeah. So having to depend on others for these activities especially because let's say it makes you feel really vulnerable, especially if you're very shy. I still struggle, okay, with that. So I've had my mother's support right from the beginning. Okay, right from the beginning, from the time I fell down, she has been with me and she's taken care of me like a baby. Yeah, with a lot of love. But right now at my home, I am able to do all of these things by myself. Okay, that is the kind of arrangements that my family has given for me. Initially, when I needed a lot of support, they helped me do those things, but today they have equipped me such that I can do it by myself. But when I go out of my home, no other home is home for me. Okay, when I go to my relatives' houses, or let's say when I go for sometimes they have programs in other states and I go there and I stay at my relative's house. Over there, my wheelchair does not even get into the bathroom because the door is not wide enough. Or even if it gets into there'll be a small, just kind of step over there, and I can't get in and get out by myself. So recently, when I had gone to Bangalore like that, so here I am feeling more proud about myself, doing all these things by myself. So I can do all of these things, I can manage it, I'm very confident. But over there, when I went there, I cannot go to the bathroom by myself. Okay, so if at all, I need to empty my bowels. Okay, I need my mother's help. Okay, so when this instance came, when my mother could have gone out, okay, with the family, suddenly I got really worried. Okay, I can't do this if I'm alone. I'm really disabled. Okay, that is why I'm thinking, I'm really disabled. Okay, so it's not actually the physical disability that made me feel disabled, but actually the settings, okay, the surroundings that made me feel that way. So such things, where once I step out of my home, like whenever I go out, I carry a diaper even over here. Because if I need to go to the toilet, let's say I've learned to undress inside the toilet, but if I need to dress fully, I need to come back to my room, lie down on a bed, and then wear my pants. Okay, now accessible clothing is coming up, so things might change. But other than that, I need to come back to my room, close the door. Even when I close the door, I cannot lock the door because my mother would have to come in between. So I cannot lock the door and press. Okay. So whenever I'm pressing, I think, okay, someone might open the door right now. Okay. So I keep thinking there should be some kind of digital locking system that might be there. Like, so those kind of things, Now let's talk about friends. Okay, I said I have a lot of supportive friends who have even told me if I need anything, I can just call them. But all these friends have their own lives to live. They have works, they have personal commitments, everything. It's not like you can always depend on them for everything. It does not work that way. Finally, like in the early days, if you were to ask another person to take the pen for you every time, that becomes really hard to deal with. Okay? So, and let's say at my workplace, colleagues would go out. Okay? I would see their pictures together in Instagram. but they'll be going to places where, well, we don't have a lot of nature accessible traveling spots right now. So I would feel lonely, okay? Because I'm not able to go out with them, right? I'm not blaming them, okay? Because when I'm at the workplace, they are very inclusive, but things that happen outside work, things that happen outside studies, all of those things, socialization, that gets cut off. When you're working in a virtual space, you're not able to connect so well to people. I hope you all are aware of that, especially because of COVID. We know what that feels to. Yeah, when you're physically present and you connect with people on a regular basis, the kind of bond that you build is stronger than what happens virtually. But virtually, it has opened up a lot of doors. Okay? Like I was able to study, continue my studies, and even a lot of the work I do, connections, and everything happens virtually. Let's look at studies. So I said I studied at IGNU. But what happened at IGNU was I was at home all by myself trying to study everything. So I'm not having that kind of class along with me to do things together. Again, not constantly in touch with teachers to clarify things. So basically, I studied and then whatever I understood, I learned. I was not even sure if what I was learning is, if what I'm understanding is right or wrong. That kind of, connections were absent over there. And let's look at job. Now, at Paramount, I have this job, but do I have a good source of income on a regular basis? No, I don't. If I am to look at other opportunities as well, they are not willing to provide me travel arrangements. Or maybe because I studied in IGNU and my course is psychology, they would say you don't have so much of practical exposure. So overall, at all these pieces, right now, let's say I'm financially secure because I am depending on my parents. They are with me. But what happens after that? Yeah? Yes, I'm striving forward in good faith that things will turn around and I'll be able to, provide for myself and even for the ones whom I care for. But all these places, all these places are examples for where you can do something and make a difference. Now that is where we need some kind of difference, okay? Not in the way that you look at us, speak to us or treat us, but understanding and awareness of the minor things, minor to major things that you do. Yes, fellow beings. You look at as fellow beings, okay? And there are a lot of things you can do that way. And this is just my story, my personal experience. Like I said before, there are people who might be in worse situations than this, or people who have things much more easier than this. But in any scenario, there are always some or the other kind of challenges. And to navigate through them, it's not just architectural changes, but also attitudinal changes that are needed. Yeah? Dependency, I would say, is on a spectrum. People are different. Like each one of you, you're dependent on others for one or the other thing. Yeah? I am visibly dependent on others for something. But then again, if you're able to connect the dots together, things change. So with that, I'd like to end my speech and I hope it was helpful for all of you. If you have any questions or something to ask you.